Doctors. What's the craziest thing you've seen on the job? I suppose mine would technically be two things, since it was a guy walking into my ER and saying, "I'm having a problem with my left Johnson." Our triage nurse made him repeat himself twice, and seriously, kudos to her for keeping a straight face, because she followed protocol and got him seated in the waiting room. It was a busy night, and he didn't seem to be in excruciating pain, so it was a while before I got to him, which meant there was plenty of time for rumors to fly about him. I think everyone on my shift asked me at some point if I had heard about the guy here with two, cylinders. We were mostly joking at that point. People come to the ER all the time with no knowledge of their bodies and how they're supposed to work, so the general consensus was that he actually meant his left testicle, not his left main guy. Since testicle problems are one of the most common injuries we see, I was prepared to be disappointed and just see a guy who'd been hitting the balls. Finally, it was his turn at bat, so to speak, and I got him into a cubicle, snapped my gloves on, and told him to lower his pants. And then, this man showed me his two Johnsons, and what two Johnsons they were. He had a condition called dipalia, where there's a split in half as it's developing in the womb, and you end up with two. It's very rare, maybe one in every few million people, and most people who have it don't have two identifiable, fully formed ones. They'll have a regular one and a tiny one, if they're lucky, and two tiny ones if they're not. But not this guy. This guy had two identical, rather large manhoods, just hanging out next to each other like hot dogs in a package. This totally average-looking guy was just walking around with 18 inches of schlong in his pants. I really hope I stayed professional. I swear I tried, but I know I said, wow. The funny thing was, he seemed surprised that I was surprised. Between that and how he checked into the ER, it's like he thought all the rest of us were walking around with twins too. I'm not sure how much medical care he'd received in the past. Most people with dipalia have one of them removed at birth, but clearly this guy's parents had chosen to let both of his live long and prosper. Now, what was the problem with his left one that brought him to the ER, you might ask? He said he'd been doing the deed the night before, and only one of them had functioned as usual. He was used to them performing in tandem, like trained seals. I had so many questions I wanted to ask, but unfortunately, all I could really tell him was that I had no idea why that would happen. It was probably not an emergency, and write him a referral to a urologist. I don't think a day has gone by that I haven't thought about this man and wondered how he and his two pals are doing. He said on his intake form that he was bisexual. I hope he's thriving.